Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a screencast-o-matic presentation and recording for the part of the lesson that has us looking at India and the growth of Hinduism. Before we get started, please let me encourage you to open up to today's lesson and to scroll down the correct section and get ready to complete any fill-in-the-blank sections in your guided notes section. And please remember to answer the key concept questions that happen to appear throughout the notes. Please also remember that you can replay any part of this presentation for detailed clarity or repetition later on. Let's go ahead and get started. What is Hinduism? Simply put, Hinduism is a way to liberate its followers from illusions and mistakes of everyday life. Hinduism, as a religion or a philosophy, is different than any other central religion or philosophy that we talked about this year, for many different reasons, as you'll soon see. The Aryans and the Vedic Age. Now, the Aryans invaded India and brought with them many sacred scriptures that are first sung and then later written in Sanskrit. The Vedic scripts, as depicted here, are some of the earliest works in world cultures and world history that give us insight into what these people might have believed and why. Now, the Vedas are books of prayer, songs, stories, and more. The Vedic scripts tried to explain how a person could achieve liberation from desire and also suffering. So, in a sense, the Vedic scripts give us great clarity and detail as to what these people believed and why they believed what they believed. The caste system. There are actually two different concepts of the caste system in India. There's the Varna and the Jati. The four Varnas include class level based on temperament, and the hundreds of Jatis actually are based off of occupation and job and the role that you fulfill in society. The caste system is unique to India, as it provides a rigid hierarchical system within the country and society. Let's look at the Varna system first. The Varna system has Brahmins, who study and teach, Kshatriyas, who have power and offer protection, the Vaisyas, who earn and give, and the Sudras, who serve. Now, this is a system that we alluded to in the previous lesson. However, in the Varna system, once again, this is based off of temperament and persona and demeanor. The Jatis, however, is when you're born into a specific caste with no mobility whatsoever. For example, a farmer, a barber, a shepherd, etc. All these occupations essentially define your family's heritage, legacy, and future. So as you can see, the caste system in India is quite unique in the sense that it offers people a specific place within society. With the Brahmins at top, who essentially are the priests from a traditional standpoint, the Kshatriyas, who are warriors, the Vaisyas, who are merchants and buyers and traders, and the Sudras, who are the laborers. This type of hierarchical system allowed for India to maintain a strict order, but also at the same time establish itself as a stable and solvent society. Now, once again, at the very bottom of the caste system are the untouchables, or the outcasts, who are often the street sweepers, the latrine cleaners. These types of people are often not looked upon with any favor whatsoever in traditional Indian society. It should be noted here that not all parts of the caste system are strictly adhered to in different parts of India. In major metropolitan areas, parts and systems of the caste system are essentially overlooked. Now, this social hierarchy system from the Aryans and formalized with laws was further established throughout the years, as many people, of course, looked upon with great favor the members of the higher castes. However, in this sense, a caste, from its literal meaning, is Portuguese for lineage or race. And many people, of course, have special rules within each caste, for example, where you can't marry with outside your caste. Additionally, in society, Varna caste, social class or level is really important and adhered to. There's special types of etiquette rules and more that coincide with each caste, respectively. Also keep in mind here that when it comes to other issues, not just marriage, but also in terms of occupation, where you live, and the types of privileges you get, these things could also inculcate or involve your caste. India, of course, still struggles with many people who still adhere to the caste system, as many more traditional Indians, of course, abide by the system. The pariahs, or the outside the Varnas, the people who, of course, are very poor, or often called the untouchables, are often, of course, given the most menial jobs, as alluded to before, from grave diggers to latrine cleaners to trash collectors and more. Unfortunately, it is these people who often involve themselves or live by default by the system in India's slums. Now, over time here, it's important to note that the caste system in society has created many problems and opportunities at the same time. Although over the years, these 4 different castes, as you see here, have broken down, the fact is that in some sense of the word, these types of, I guess you could say, misconceptions that happen from each caste often involve many people struggling to find ways to bridge gaps between different social strata. Let's talk for a moment about Hindu gods. All gods are concrete forms of Brahman, who of course is the big or eternal spirit. There are also other important gods in Hinduism as well, which we'll delve into a little bit later. Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, Shiva, the destroyer. In Hinduism, there's possibly up to 330 million gods or only one god. It all really comes down to your way upon which you view the spiritual and mystical world around you. Moksha is also really important in Hinduism as well. The goal of Hinduism, if you will, is to reach moksha. Just as Buddhists have enlightenment, moksha takes on a similar type of theme and construct. The state of perfect understanding of all things in this world is moksha. Now, of course, it may take several lifetimes to achieve a state of moksha, but Hindus do believe that it is in fact attainable. This is when the soul breaks free of material world and unites with the Brahman to be an eternal being or spirit. As you can see here by this infographic at the bottom, this is essentially how Indians view moksha. Some key definitions to remember when it comes to Hinduism and more is that Hindus believe in strict dharma, or duty. Maybe it might be duty to a specific role to their caste, or duty to a specific adherence to their god or deity. Purpose in life is to follow the dharma and perform the duty to the best of their ability, no matter what their role is. This could include ethical values and obligations that are adhered to. And then there's karma, a little bit different than the karma as alluded to in Buddhism. Karma in Hinduism is how you live this life, which could actually determine what you will be in the next life. Reincarnation, of course, is a key part to understanding this. If you live a good life, in fact, you'll reward the next life with a greater status. You can fulfill your dharma and your duty. And additionally, there is samsara, which is reincarnation as alluded to before, which is the rebirth of the soul, until one reaches moksha. Hindus believe that you constantly get reborn, and sometimes into different castes or different types of allotments in life to fulfill your duty or your call. Let's look at the reincarnation cycle here real quickly. As you can see here by the infographic, the reincarnation cycle is constantly ongoing. Based off of how you live your life, that could deter or affect the way upon which you essentially end up. Moksha might be really hard to achieve, but the fact of the matter is that your adherence to a strict duty and abidance by rules and your caste system could in fact affect the way that you live your life and the way that you achieve moksha. From self-actions, merits and sins, death, rebirth, soul rejuvenation, material desires, and more, all these factors affect your reincarnation cycle. So as you can see, Hinduism and Indian life and culture is quite different than any other place we talked about in the world so far. But I think it's really important for you to understand essentially how these people in this part of the world actually believe their religion and philosophy. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the lesson.